Hello guys, how are you? Today we will study about active and the passive voice. You have probably heard in your life about active and the passive voice, but many people don't know how to use them in the lesson. And today I will teach you how to use them and distinguish them. To get started, we will consider the following questions. What is active voice? What is passive voice? And what are their different functions? First, I want to briefly tell you about the active and the passive voice. We all know and use the active voice in our daily lives, but we use the passive voice very little. In the active voice, the subject acts upon its verb. For example, the dog chases the ball. Here, the dog is a subject, acts upon its verb, chases is verb. In the passive voice, the subject receives the action from the verb. For example, the ball is being chased by the dog. Here, uh, the ball is the subject, is being chased is a verb. And now, after we got acquainted with the active and the passive voice, we can start the lesson. And now, let's look at each of them separately to understand well. What do you need to know about active voice? In the active voice, the sentence subject performs the action. The subject of a sentence is always a noun or a pronoun. The active voice has a direct, clear tone. We use active voice it when you want the reader to focus on the subject of your sentence rather than on the action. Now let's look examples of the active voice. Here are some examples of sentence in the active voice. For example, the girl cleans the windows. It is the present simple active. The girl is subject and the cleans verb. In the active voice, the subject acts upon its verb. So, the second example, Susan found her car case. It is past simple active. So, here Susan is the subject and the verb is found. And now let's look about passive voice. What do you need to know about passive voice? In the passive voice, the verb acts upon the subject, or to put it in the passive voice, the subject is acted upon by the verb. It is on the contrary, in active voice, we should use subject acts upon its verb, but in passive voice, the verb acts upon the subject. So every sentence in the passive voice contains two verbs, a conjugated form of to be, and the main verb's past participle. It's mean subject plus to be plus verb 3. Because of this, every sentence in the passive voice also includes a preposition by. And now let's look examples of passive voice. English is spoken all over the world. Here, English is subject, also is spoken all over the world. It's a verb. We use there is, am is are, also plus verb 3. It is a present simple passive. The big cake was baked by Sam. Uh, it is a past simple passive. Here, uh, the big cake is subject, was baked is a verb. The third one, the book was written by an unknown author. It is also past simple passive. Uh, let's look here. We use by when we talk about it's acted upon by the subject. So we use preposition by. Now let's look active and passive voice rules. Here we have some rules about active and passive voice. So in present simple, we use also only the verb, and also in third person we use plus s and es. But now we when we turn active to passive voice, uh, we am is are plus verb 3. It is a form of present simple passive. And the second one, when present simple active, uh, present continuous active to turn present continuous passive, uh, we uh, we also add plus verb 3, am is are plus being plus verb 3. And also like this, in present perfect we also have has plus been plus verb 3. And also in past simple we use was were plus verb 3. In past continuous passive we use was were plus being plus verb 3. And in the future simple we use will be plus verb 3. Now let's start to turn active sentence to passive sentence. First, I gave him a book for his birthday. To turn to passive voice, he was given a book for his birthday. Here, gave is a past simple active. When we turn to passive voice, uh, the verb turned to was plus verb 3. It means was given. The second example, someone has cleaned the windows. In passive sentence, the windows have been cleaned. Cleaned. So, someone, we exclude this subject, and here the present perfect active turn to passive voice. Uh, we use have, has plus been plus verb 3. It means have been cleaned. So here we have also all examples when we use active and the passive voice. So, for example, in present simple, I do my homework. In passive voice, my homework is done. In present continuous, I'm doing my homework. In passive voice, my homework is being done. In past simple, an active version is I did my homework. In passive voice, my homework was done. Past continuous, in active voice, I was doing my homework. In passive voice, my homework was being done. In present perfect active, I have done my homework. In present perfect passive, my homework has been done. Also past perfect, I had done my homework. In passive voice, my homework has been done. Future simple, I will do my homework. In passive voice, my homework will be done. Future be going to, I'm going to do my homework. In passive voice, my homework is going to be done. In model, I must do my homework. In passive voice, my homework must be done. At the last, when should you use active and passive voice? Use the active voice in any sentence that focuses on the door of the action, unless the majority of your writing is scientific or reporting incidents involving unknown perpetrators. Most of the sentence you write should be in the active voice. The passive voice is meant for sentence where you need to emphasize the verb rather than the one performing the verb. That is the end of our video. Thank you for your attention. Subscribe to my channel and wait for my new videos. Goodbye.